Hello and welcome to episode 163 of Glitch Report. My name is GnittWitt. Thank you so much for stopping by, saying hi, kicking it with me today on the stream of dreams, the show of shows, and everything in between. You can find everything that I do over at my Linktree. That is linktree.com/GnittWitt, GnittWitt. I am on Twitch, TikTok, Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, YouTube, Spotify. I have spread myself all over the internet. What are you gonna do? I mean, how else would you want to find like-minded individuals that want to talk about video games and things like that without spreading yourself all over the internet? Don't think too much about the idea of me spreading myself. I've spread myself thin is what it is, because this is a late show. This is a late podcast for me to be doing on a Wednesday afternoon. Typically, we do our shows at 10 a.m. Wednesday Pacific Standard Time over at twitch.tv/GnittWitt. It's a late show. What are you going to do? Maybe people will be like, oh, this is awesome. I'm like off work, or I'm thinking about getting off work, or I've stopped doing my work even though I'm still at work, and we can tune in and watch this or do whatever. Versus, yeah, I get it. Like to me, the reason why we do the show at 10 a.m. on Wednesday is because I like the idea of getting this over with and done with. Not because I don't like doing it, but because then I can move on to other things in my day. It's like I try my best to treat the content creation thing as a job as much as possible, so that I can do good work and, you know, all of that fun stuff. And that applies to the podcast. It also applies to the TikToks and the short form video content, and perhaps even some long form video content in the form of let's plays and game play videos and all of that fun stuff we'll talk about later on the show. But the reason why this show ran late was because we found out very recently that a water line broke just outside of our house. It's not in the house, it's outside of the house. And on managed property ground. It's not our property. It's someone else's property where the line broke. So we have no water for the last couple of days, which has not been great. And that, along with like errands that kind of caught up with me this morning, is why we're starting the show late. So I am doing the best I can with the water that I do not have. It really makes you, I'll tell you what, take away your water and it really makes you appreciate the water that you have. I might even try to be a little more conservative with my water usage going forward once I get it back, but I do need to get it back in order to conserve it. Though I guess nothing is more conservative than just not having it at all, right? We could get down a slippery slope of like what that can entail beyond just water. But word on the street is that this might be the last night without water. We've made it work. We got buckets and Brita filters and all sorts of stuff. And we got booze. Well, why have water? We need to have booze. No, but yeah. So I mean, that is kind of what bumped me from doing this show at the right time for again, it was a variety of reasons, but we're here now. We're going to make it a good one because boy, oh boy, there is a ton of talk about in terms of news. Some stuff that I started to address earlier on in the week, kind of as those news stories rolled out, in regards to Halo and all sorts of stuff. But hey, listen, it is episode 163. Let's try to make this episode a good one. And I want to kick things off talking about a game that I'm excited about. And we're going to talk more about in just a moment in terms of how I plan to cover and play this game. But let's talk about The Outer Worlds 2. It is out for everyone now on Xbox Series X and X, PC, PlayStation 5. And I want to do a review roundup. I want to look over reviews as they have been curated and managed and organized by OpenCritic.com. Currently, The Outer Worlds 2 has an 82 top critic average, with 89% of critics recommending the game. To me, that is good news. Good news, everyone. Like that sort of good news. So I think 82 is a reasonable number for a video game. You know, some people might only want to play, I want to play 10 out of 10s, right? I want 11 out of 10s, like game of the generation type stuff. And that's totally fine. But I have, you know, I mostly enjoyed my time with the Outer Worlds 1. There were quite a few problems I had with it, but despite those, you know, kind of problems, and I think the structure of Outer Worlds 1, where the story gets less interesting the more you play it, like I just think didn't do that game a lot of service. I'm hoping that with these reviews, we find, you know, either the opposite or just a fully improved game top to bottom when it comes to the Outer Worlds 2 reviews. IGN, 8 out of 10, saying once you get past a weak first act, the Outer Worlds 2 sharpens Obsidian's RPG formula with smarter writing and better combat. PC Gamer, 83 out of 100, saying an RPG with a great sense of fun and whimsy, as well as surprising depth to its character building. Eurogamer, 4 out of 5, saying the Outer Worlds 2 is for better and worse, still fluffy gaming comfort food, but it is significantly improved and better than its predecessor in almost every way. Excuse me. Game Rant, 9 out of 10, saying the Outer Worlds 2 is bigger and better than its predecessor, and an absolute must play for fans of the genre. I gotta say right now, I don't love the phrasing of fans of the genre. I just feel like it's such a cheesy cliche thing. No disrespect to the writer of this review and Game Rant and all of that stuff, but I just feel like not every game that comes out in the genre that you like is something that you should play. And it's weird to make assumptions about that. Like people, like, you know, I would say that, you know, I enjoy RPGs. Maybe I don't enjoy them as much as the next guy, or maybe I enjoy them slightly more, slightly less, whatever. But like, then we run into a scenario where like, oh, should I play a game like Baldur's Gate? And then I play it and I'm like, you know, I don't know if Baldur's Gate is really for me, but say la vie. The Gamer, 4 out of 5, saying the Outer Worlds 2 shows that Obsidian won't be left behind as other great RPGs launch to critical success, and that the developer needs to play to its strengths. I only hope it learns to take itself more seriously, because the setting is brimming with potential that is yet to be realized. Game Informer, 8.8, Wesley LeBlanc, saying the Outer Worlds 2 the Outer Worlds 2 exceptionally addresses the shortcomings of its rather short predecessor, adding to the formula to give players even more opportunities to shape the adventure. Steve Watts, 8 out of 10, GameSpot.com, saying the Outer Worlds 2 imbues Obsidian's spacefaring RPG series with its own identity, letting you bumble your way through corporate and cultist intrigue in space. Games Radar Plus, 4.5 out of 5, saying the Outer Worlds 2 is bigger and better than the first game in every respect, with deep, rich role-playing and plenty of freedom to tailor your experience. Every world feels curated, and exploration is always purposeful and rewarding. Topped off with a vast range of weapons, brilliant writing, and a story and character that's yours to shape. This is Obsidian doing what it's best to deliver an engrossing RPG you'll want to replay again and again. VideoGameChronicles.com. As always, shout out to VideoGameChronicles.com, saying 3 out of 5. As a sequel, The Outer Worlds 2 doesn't strive to reinvent its past foundation and does little to stand out in the RPG genre. If you're looking for new toys to play with, you'll find plenty of weapons and much improved gunplay to boot. Just don't expect to carry many memories of your time in Arcadia with you. All of that seems fine. Like a better, like, I recognize that I think, you know, Obsidian is a mature enough game developer. Not that they can't like surprise me and really blow me away or anything like that, but I think Obsidian is a mature enough developer that a better game, you know, sequel or something can only go so far, and that you may end up getting more of the same and not significantly better of the same. But from what I read, I am excited to play Outer Worlds 2. Now, I want to talk about the Outer Worlds 2 and my plans with that game. Plan was to do the podcast in the morning and have the Outer Worlds 2 ready to go, up and at 'em shortly after the podcast. That did not work out for a variety of reasons, as we've discussed on the podcast. So my plan is that we're going to do a double stream this week, maybe even a triple stream if I can squeeze it. But I'm guaranteeing you right now, the GnittWitt seal of approval is we're going to start playing the Outer Worlds 2 live on Twitch tomorrow, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Now, there are some concerns I have with tomorrow's stream specifically. One, there will be work being done to the water line that happens to be right outside of the room where this show is being recorded, which is also why we started the show late today. I don't know what the noise and rumbling will be like, for that show. What I do know is that we will also do a Outer Worlds 2 stream Friday morning, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So the plan is to get as much of the game kind of, it's not that I'm racing to be the first I'm not ever going to be the first person to play the Outer Worlds 2 or the first person to beat it or anything like that. I just want to make good progress in the streams and videos that we do this week, especially because I am rather excited to play this in a way. This game kind of the closer it got to release, the more interested I became of it. So here we are. So that is the plan. Tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time at twitch.tv/GnittWitt, GnittWitt. We're going to start playing Outer Worlds. We're going to play through it to completion unless something happens, life gets in the way, whatever. We're going to play through it over the course of the next couple of weeks. Though regular streams will be on Friday. So we're going to do a Thursday stream. We'll go through character creation, story setup, all that stuff. And then we will do a second stream the next day. And then following that, I do have free time on Monday. We'll see if we can squeeze in another stream, or we will just stick to Friday mornings going forward. What used to be the old Fallout Friday stream at 10 a.m. on Fridays will now be replaced with the Outer Worlds 2. That is the plan. Anyways, plans change, pal, all the time. If I've learned anything from professional wrestling, it is that plans change all the time. Will they change come tomorrow or Friday? I'm not too sure. My only really concern with the tomorrow stream specifically is this idea that maybe the audio might be weird if they're doing a lot of rumbling and patching and fixing and stuff right outside of the room where we record this. Let's talk about news. Well, at least this first news story, because this is huge, and this was a video that this was a topic that I already made a video of. You can go find that on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram if you would like to. But Halo is getting a remaster. Specifically, Halo Combat Evolved is getting a remaster of its campaign. It is called Halo Campaign Evolved, and it is coming out on Xbox Series X and S, PC, and PlayStation next year. This is from Video Games Chronicles. We've already shouted them out, but we'll shout them out again. Shout out to Video Games Chronicles. Halo Campaign Evolved is a full remake of the campaign portion of the series' first game. No specific release date, but Microsoft already confirmed that it'll be launching next year. The game will feature 4-player co-op if you want to play through the story with your friend. As well, sorry, I lost my track of my page. As well as completely rebuilt visuals. The game has been developed for Unreal Engine 5. Stating this fully rebuilt campaign will introduce remastered 4K visuals, beloved Halo weapons, vehicles, plus brand new story content. According to Xbox Wire, the trailer is up now. It is a 13-minute long trailer. There's a lot to go off of. They mostly show off gameplay from the level The Silent Cartographer. And I will say this, straight up, let's get real here for a moment. It is a nice looking remake. This is a very, very nice looking Halo. I would have said the same thing, and I probably did say the same thing when Halo Infinite came out. But here we are remaking a Halo that everybody knows and loves. This time, of course, coming to PlayStation as well. It is a really gorgeous looking campaign that they have showed off so far. Very excited to see what people think about it. But I do have, I'm going to say this. I also think that this is such a technically it looks nice. However, I feel like one of the problems that Microsoft has ran into with Halo, I would say since 5, really. Maybe you can make an argument that this, issue really kicked in with Infinite. But I just don't see Microsoft thinking about the future of Halo as much as they think about the past. And I get it. Everybody wants nostalgia mined until there's nothing left, until, it's like the Harry Potter Death Eaters. You're just a husk of a human being by the time that nostalgia has been mined out of your body. It's why, you get excited when, stars of the Attitude Era of professional wrestling, return to the ring or hobble to the ring or whatever the case may be. It's why, some people are like, oh, I might try out, another Tron movie or another Running Man movie or whatever. Like, oh, I'd give it a shot. I like the other ones and I haven't loved a thing since then or whatever. Like, you see where people are like, well, they haven't made good rock music since the 1970s. So how bad could this new, Rolling Stone albums be? Or I'm not picking on the Stones or anything. You see what I'm saying? Like, nostalgia is a drug and life is miserable. So let's just get high all the time is really what I am trying to say. So I just think that Microsoft does not look to the future of Halo nearly enough. So what are they doing with this? They're looking to the past. Now, there are a couple things that I want to say right at the top in terms of them looking to the future. They are planning on using Unreal Engine 5 going forward for making Halo games. What that means in this scenario is this Halo campaign evolved. You could almost look at it as a tech demo, a proof of life to be like, how does the game run on a new engine? And that's totally fine. They want to use it as a way of a test bed, whatever, mad science experiment. Go ahead. However, I just would have liked to have seen maybe a better introduction to the Halo series or a more vibrant or contextually enriching, introduction to the Halo series for Xbox, for PlayStation fans, because yes, Halo 1 is the first game. That's the same thing that Microsoft did with Gears of War when that launched earlier this year on PlayStation. It was the first game and that was it. And you had the campaign, though you also had the multiplayer, competitive and cooperative, if I remember correctly, for Gears of War when that launched on PlayStation. I just think that like Halo 2 and Halo 3 are games worth playing. I think Halo Reach is one of the best, if not the best Halo game. I think Halo 3 ODST is one of the best, if not the best Halo game. Like, I just feel like you're missing out just ever so slightly on the Halo world by just having Halo Combat Evolved. Again, I get it. It's a tech demo. It's a proof of life. It's all this stuff, but I would also I am far more yes, I play this 1,000%. I'll be there with bells on, right? I would, I've really enjoyed my time with the Halo campaigns. And this is someone who has been a fairly recent convert fan of the Halo series. I'll be there with bells on, but I am far more interested in what the future of Halo looks like than what the past looks like all gussied up. And I think that's maybe my biggest problem with it. The other thing is no competitive multiplayer, which I think is one of the big reasons why people fell in love with Halo to begin with, was that competitive multiplayer, which you are not getting with Campaign Evolved. You are getting the cooperative campaign, so you and 3 other friends can play through the storyline. No problem. You can play it by yourself. That's your thing. But you don't have any of the competitive multiplayer, and I think that is a bit of a mistake. if I'm being honest. Otherwise, it looks gorgeous. I hope that this succeeds enough that Halo will technically be in sound, safe hands via the Unreal Engine for years to come. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, let's talk about that Battlefield Battle Royale. Stick around. We'll be right back. All right, Blue Jays fans, we're back for more exciting ball game. And let's talk ball in the form of Battlefield RedSec, the free-to-play battle royale game set in the Battlefield 6 world. So, hey, if you're somebody who hasn't played Battlefield 6 and are looking forward to the crazy multiplayer and the warfare and all of that fun stuff, you can get in and play Battlefield RedSec for free if you want. I have not done so yet because I've been playing other video games and working and life and all of this stuff. But, you know, I didn't love the Battlefield 6 multiplayer, despite the fact that I think it's pretty sound top to bottom. So you'll have to excuse me if I'm not jumping, you know, up and down, just dying to play this. But I figure I probably should give it a shot, and we'll probably, you know, have something to talk about next week in regards to it. But here's what we know. It is a new 100-player game that is, you know, Battlefield's answer to Call of Duty Warzone. RedSec has launched alongside the start of Season 1 of Battlefield 6, and players are able to progress through their Battle Pass tiers by either playing Battlefield 6 or RedSec. RedSec introduces a new map called Fort Linden and tasks players with surviving the battle royale between NATO and Pax Armada squads fighting for control. Now, RedSec launches with two main modes, Battle Royale and Gauntlet. The Battle Royale holds up to 100 players, but players take part in either 4-player squads or duos, meaning you cannot just jump into a game by yourself. If you jump into a game by yourself, you either be partnered up with somebody or you'll be participating in 4-player squads, which in fairness, you already get dumped into a 4-player squad when you play, you know, the multiplayer anyways. So it's not that crazy, but I'll say this right now. I don't like battle royales that force you into squads or duos. I am a lone wolf. I hate people, and I don't know why you'd make me play with them, even in a multiplayer context, which is kind of weird because you're already playing with people. The point is I'm just not a squads or duo. I don't squad up with the boys. I don't do it. It's just not my, no offense to the boys, the gang, the guys, the gaggle. The boys are back in town, and I want nothing to do with them. So don't mind me if I'm a little cynical about this. The point is that you can choose your class and sidearm before dropping in, then work with your squad or duo to earn and unlock additional abilities, gadgets, call-ins, and more to gain a tactical advantage. Scour the map to find loadout items, including weapons of various rarities and upgrade kits, or complete squad missions to unlock powerful rewards. You may even find a vehicle keycard that grants access to a heavy armored tank. Now, the Gauntlet mode is described as an all-out, cutthroat, knockout-style, fast-paced elimination experience, which pits squads against each other in a series of high-octane missions, some of which will be familiar to Battlefield multiplayer veterans. 8 squads take part in a series of special missions such as Deadlock or Wreckage, with the bottom 2 teams eliminated after each round. When only 2 teams are left, they will fight each other for the championship. Decryption, extraction, territory domination, target protection, explosive transport, and more. Only squads with the complete package will come out on top in this gauntlet of elimination, ending in a squad versus squad showdown. RedSec will be assigning players loadouts based on the character class chosen, instead of having the loadout customization that you found in the character creation, or sorry, in the regular multiplayer. Anyways, this sounds great for people who want a free-to-play battle experience. This is great for people who wanted more Battlefield content. They just can't get enough of it. Again, I'm not necessarily jumping at the site of this news. I will probably install this and mess with it, look at it, probably might even mess around with a little more Battlefield multiplayer. We'll see. But man, oh man, Battlefield just kind of came and went for me in more ways than one, I guess I can say. And I'll just say this up at the top because I was gonna save this till the end, but I don't have too much else to say. That Battlefield campaign is bad. It's really bad. I finished it, and boy, oh boy, they couple things about that multiplayer, about that single player that really come off as bad are its desperate attempt to tell like a spy conspiracy story at some point of like, who's the real bad guy, man? Who can you trust? And it's just like, I don't care about any of the characters in this story to worry about the idea of one of the characters flipping on the other and all of this stuff. Like, it just, woof. And then the second thing I will say, and this is minor spoilers, cover the ears if you really don't want to hear this, but boy, oh boy, do they set up a sequel for that game. An incredibly unearned sequel based on how bad the story was in this game, but they really try to like hammer home of like, oh, we still got work to do and all this other stuff. And you're just like, who fucking cares, man? Like, none of these characters are interesting. The conflict was pretty bland, and when it wasn't bland, it just felt kind of tasteless. The bad guy is laughably pathetic. It just, again, I don't think Battlefield 6 is a bad game. I really like want to like tell each and every person who, you know, left a negative comment on my video talking about the campaigns and all of this stuff, like campaign talking like it's okay. Battlefield 6 is not a bad game. They just made a terrible multiplayer campaign. Oh, sorry, a terrible single player campaign. Boy, oh boy. And a multiplayer that like I think is okay. That I think is actually better than okay. It's just maybe not for me. And there's nothing wrong with that. So I don't know how much more Battlefield talk I really have in me. I might mess around with this Red Sec, free to play battle royale stuff. But hey, we were wondering when that was going to come out. We were wondering if it's going to be free to play or not. And it's out, and there'll be more content for Battlefield fans coming very soon. How did you celebrate Fallout Day 2025? Did you celebrate Fallout Day 2025? What did you do? Did you get work off? Did you get like time and a half for Fallout Day? Fallout Day happened on the 23rd of October. I don't know what makes October 23rd Fallout Day. Like, I'd have to look. It doesn't matter. But Fallout Day happened. And there was about an hour long broadcast that Bethesda put up talking all sorts of stuff in regards to Fallout. I mean, actually, to be honest, it was more like whatever. It wasn't that long. Here's what we really need to know about everything that they talked about in Fallout. Fallout 4 is getting an anniversary edition. They're celebrating 10 years of Fallout 4 by releasing Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition, which bundles the base game, all 6 official add-ons, and over 150 pieces of Creation Club content into one package. This will be available digitally on Xbox Series X and S, PC, and PlayStation 5 November 10th. As an added bonus, creations are coming to Fallout 4 when Anniversary Edition launches. There's also updates for Fallout 76. There's Fallout 4 is coming to Switch. They have new merch. Fallout Shelter is coming out as well. And the other thing to note is that New Vegas is celebrating its 15th anniversary. That is also getting a bundle if you are interested in that. But that was like really like, there was not a lot. They were like, hey, there's a sale going on for Fallout, which is fine if that is your thing. Burning Springs, the Ghoul is coming to Fallout 76 December 2nd, voiced by actor of stage and screen, Walton Goggins. Really looking forward to that Fallout Season 2 TV show. Very excited about that. I thought that first season was great. It was very good TV. Speaking of things coming to Amazon, such as the Fallout TV show, let's talk about the things that are not happening at Amazon anymore. Oh boy, did I oh, that's funny. How did that happen? Uh-oh. Video Game Chronicles link is broken for me. Let's see if we can find the correct one. Here we go. Great. Amazon is making significant cuts to its game business, and they're moving away from MMOs. The New Worlds developer has been affected by sweeping cuts at Amazon Games. In a message to staff reviewed by Bloomberg, the company said it would be eliminating more than 14,000 corporate jobs, many of which affect its game development and publishing businesses. Now, that is specifically the San Diego and Irvine development studios, which were responsible for the MMOs New World and an untitled The Lord of the Rings game, have seen significant reductions, according to Steve Boom, Vice President of Audio, Twitch, and Games. It was also updated that MMO New World is officially ending development following Amazon's huge round of layoffs, on top of everything else. Amazon Game Studios writes, while we're proud of our success in first-party AAA game development and publishing, we have made the difficult decision to halt a significant amount of our first-party AAA game development, specifically around MMOs within Amazon Game Studios. This includes making significant role reductions in our studios in Irvine and San Diego, as well as our central publishing team. Amazon Games Orange County, formerly Double Helix, which is based in Irvine, California, released New World in September of 2021. The layoff comes days after Amazon relaunched its Luna gaming service, which has been redesigned to appeal to a wider range of players. This includes the addition of Game Night, a new selection of party games designed for casual players. Now, according to the internal memo that was going around, Amazon will continue to work on various game projects, including the next Tomb Raider game with Crystal Dynamics and Maverick Games' open world driving game. While these changes are significant, we still have a lot going on in game development. Our Montreal studio recently concluded a successful closed alpha of March of Giants and is working hard to finish the game. I think Microsoft has a lot more fingers in gaming pies than a company like Amazon or a company like Netflix. So it's harder for them to pull out everything despite how many cancellations and job cuts we've seen. In the case of Amazon, like, they run 1/3 of the World Wide Web as we know it. And if they are not seeing a return on investment on games, they're going to cut and run. And to be honest, my only real concern was how much they got into games with so little to show for so long. Like, so long. We've been like, is Amazon going to build a Steam competitor? They were working on a Steam competitor and never saw the light of day. We were wondering if they were going to do anything that wasn't an MMO, and now it seems like they're making, casual party games that do not need the dev teams and resources that an MMO did. But it really just felt like Amazon was just like games. That's where the money is. Games, with nothing to show for it. And I guess they realized that there was not going to be anything to show for it for a very long time, to the point where it may not be worth it. And now they're cutting. I wish everybody who has lost their jobs the best of luck at Amazon. Hopefully you'll land on your feet when all is said and done. Well, it was going to probably be a rough road for the PlayStation Concert Series based on how many cancellations were happening. And I can confirm with you right now that PlayStation the Concert is only struggling more since the last time we saw it. Their woes continue as at least 17 US dates have been canceled and a web page that has completely gone offline. I think it's going to be faster to just tell you which shows are still happening. I'm thinking that might be the easiest. There are now only 11 concerts still happening as of right now. Seattle, San Francisco, Spokane, Minneapolis, Indianapolis, New Orleans, Evans, and Toronto. I don't know, man. I'm suspecting that this all gets canceled at some point, because what's the point of taking a show on the road and going from Evans to Toronto and not passing by Newark or Hershey in between? But we'll see. Hey, maybe the show will go on in some form, or maybe they'll just dump it all for a dump it all for something like a Game Awards concert. I guess we'll have to wait and see. You wait, you see, and Capcom still insists that it will be charging people to watch its Street Fighter tournament streams. However, pricing details are not currently available. It was previously announced that fans would have to pay up to $40 to watch two tournament finals live on pay-per-view. Now they're reviewing the pricing. We're not going to get updated information until October. I'm very curious to see what happens if anything. Like, do they just eventually say, fuck it, okay, we can't sell these tickets? I just don't know. And this is, I should mention that this is for the finals of the Capcom Cup 12 and the Street Fighter, the SFL World Championship. If you want to watch the finals are going to be on March 14th of 2026, and the SFL World Championship will be on March 15th. You can also get a bundle for $40 if you want to watch both. Otherwise, they're $27 each. That was the original pricing. They have not updated the pricing. At some point, there's not a lot of pricing left to adjust. Because if you cut like $5, I don't think people are going to be crazy. If you cut $10, I don't know if that's even going to be enough. And if you're charging $20, you're almost thinking, well, should we just charge nothing? Well, we'll find out. I've never been a big esports guy. And if I were, I would probably watch a fighting game tournament like Street Fighter, but I also wouldn't when I'm being charged for it, so I'm probably out of watching it anyways. Okay, what else do we need to cover? The first three PlayStation 1 Battle Arena Toshinden games are getting a re-release on modern platforms. The Toshinden series was Tekken's main rival in the early PS1 days. A Japanese media company, Idea, which has been acquiring and licensed classic game IPs, has announced that it had signed a licensing agreement to mark the 30th anniversary of the first Battle Arena Toshinden. Idea, which says it's accelerating its efforts to commercialize a wide range of retro game IP, says it will release Toshinden, Toshinden 2, and Toshinden 3 on modern consoles. We will commence porting development of contracted titles to current generation systems, targeting release between fiscal year 2026 and 2027. We will leverage our accumulated expertise in porting and commercializing retro games to advance product planning, aiming to create offerings that will not only be simple ports, but will be enjoyed by many fans. Details regarding that specific product lineup will be announced as they are finished. Now, a little bit of context. The first Battle Arena Toshinden was a PS1 launch title in the West, arriving on the console a couple of months before Namco released Tekken. It was also one of the 20 games included in the PlayStation Classic mini console in 2018. The game focuses on weapons-based combat, and while Virtua Fighter predated it as its first polygonal fighting game, Toshinden could lay claim to being one of the first to feature 3D movement, since players were able to sidestep in circles. The second game offered more of the same with an improved roster of 12 fighters, while Battle Arena Toshinden 3 was a complete revamp with a new engine and a larger roster of 32 fighters. This is also something that I think is really interesting about Battle Arena Toshinden 3. If you have a PlayStation 5, you're probably familiar with the concept of performance and quality modes in your games, right? Do you want 60 frames per second? Do you want 30 frames per second? Do you want ray tracing? Whatever. But even on the PlayStation 1, Battle Arena Toshinden 3 was one of the first examples of a game that had a performance and quality mode, allowing players to choose between a detailed game running at 30 or a more basic looking game running at 60 frames per second. There was also a fourth game called Toshinden 4 that was also released on PS1, but does not appear to be part of Idea's agreement. I've never played a Battle Arena Toshinden game. I remember seeing, demos and gameplay for it as a very, 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 very young child. And thinking that shit looked rad, similar to the way that Tekken looked rad. The only difference is that I knew more about Tekken and King and the characters and all this stuff, and I didn't really know much else about Battle Arena Toshinden other than that it was a kind of a similar looking 3D fighter. So maybe I will check out some old Battle Arena Toshinden. There are other ways to play these old Battle Arena games on PC and all sorts of places if that is your thing. But if you're looking to get the original games in a modern game console format, look out, because those first three games are coming out sometime soon. Forza Motorsport, however, will not be coming out sometime soon because it is taking a back seat as Xbox focuses on games releasing sooner. I'm going to just clarify, Forza Motorsport, not Forza Horizon. I firmly believe that it will be a very, very, very long time before we see another Forza Motorsport game, because that game was simply a failure in almost every way possible. It ran like crap. It didn't particularly look amazing for how graphically intense it was. And people didn't love the campaign progression system and all of this stuff. It just did not work out for Forza Motorsport, and that is why it's taking a back seat in Microsoft's gaming development pipeline. In an interview with Famitsu, which took place before the announcement that a remake of the first Halo was coming to all formats, Spencer was asked if the Halo and Forza Motorsport series had come to an end. Spencer replied that this definitely wasn't the case, but stressed that Forza Motorsport wasn't quite ready for a return yet because Xbox is focused on titles that are closer to release. He said, no, Halo Studios is planning for the future of to pursue new initiatives. We're focusing on Unreal Engine 5 and investing in new technologies. We're setting up a system that allows them to take the time needed, make the investment befitting the Halo franchise, and create something great as the next new entry in the Halo series. Turning to Forza Motorsport, Spencer acknowledged that around half of its studio at Turn 10 had been laid off as part of sweeping cuts made at Microsoft in July, and explained that while the series is still active, development is going at a slower pace while Xbox pays more attention to games near completion. He said regarding Forza Motorsport, sometimes we need to shift focus to games that need to ship sooner, We understand the reaction many fans had when we scaled back Turn 10 Studios. We have many games we want to support with care, and sometimes we give development teams more time to avoid putting them under constant strain. Our current structure with multiple studios allows for this flexibility. I think the thing I would say is that they probably, whatever people are still left at Turn 10 are probably helping work on Forza Horizon, if I had to guess, or some other thing. Like I think when Phil Spencer says that, they're not full speed ahead on a new Forza Motorsport, it's because I think there's barely a new Forza Motorsport that exists because they already tried to revive this franchise and it didn't work. What does a second revival look like? Probably something that's going to take a lot longer. Like if I had to guess, like I don't think we see a Forza Motorsport until well into the next generation of consoles. If I had to guess, like we're not going to get one. I don't want to even put a year on it. Like 3-4 years seems too soon for a Forza Motorsport, assuming that Forza Horizon doesn't come out and just shit the bed and fuck up the whole franchise completely, and then they're left with no Forza game that people like. I don't think it's going to be Forza Motorsports' time to shine anytime soon. Final news story. Assassin's Creed Shadows has officially been confirmed for Nintendo Switch 2. It will be coming out in December, specifically December 2nd. That's pretty much it. I mean, it's going to be in a physical game key card. There'll also be digital editions. It'll also support cross progression, meaning that if you started playing Assassin's Creed Shadows on a different console, you can continue your progress on Nintendo Switch 2. If that is your thing. That's it. I mean, it's coming. Not out yet. We're going to take a final break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the games that I've been playing and the games I need to play and want to play. Stick around. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the podcast. Like I said, I wrapped up the Battlefield 6 campaign. What started out bad, ended bad, and I'm glad to have moved on with it. Is it like the worst thing I played this year? Like, as we approach stuff like Game of the Year talks and stuff like that, I don't know if I even want to do a traditional Game of the Year show with awards like we've done before. Like Battlefield 6 campaign being nominated for like a worst game of, it just seems like so antiquated. It's such like a preposterous way to talk about. I don't know what really changed between this year and last year where I'm like, nah, the awards thing, I'm not feeling it. But Battlefield 6 campaign is bad. I'm looking forward to the Call of Duty Black Ops 7 campaign, and then we'll see where military first-person shooter campaigns go from there. I keep playing Ball Pit, and I keep having this like really tough time with like half of the gameplay. I still really love the brick breaking Arkanoid style action, the dungeon crawling, the shooting, the action. All of that is wonderful. But then you go back to your town and you have to move buildings around so that your villagers can bounce off of them in a way that builds them up quickly, or you need to spend a bunch of time grinding out stone or wheat or wood. And it just, the best thing about a roguelike is when getting back into the action of the main meat of the game, it doesn't feel like a chore. And unfortunately, that is the most damning thing I can say about Ball Pit, is that when you're out of the action, it just sucks the life out of almost everything you do. Yeah, you might get some meaningful rewards and upgrades by spending time fucking around in your town, but I really don't like it. I really don't. Other people have been like, it's okay, it's not crazy. Brother, it's not for me, man. It's just not. But I still think like if you like roguelikes, if you like breaking Arkanoid style gameplay and all of that stuff, you should still play Ball Pit, especially if you have it on Game Pass, where it is available for free on Game Pass. So just you you should look at Ball Pit, is what I would say. The problem I'm running into right now is that there are like 3 games I really want to play that I have not had too much time to play with just yet. One of those games being Keeper. I messed around very briefly with Keeper, but I don't have a lot to say because I'm just so early in that game. I also briefly messed around with Ninja Gaiden 2, again, a game that I'm very early into. So I'm really hoping that, like, you know, this time next week, we come back and do the show, I'll have more to say on Ninja Gaiden 4, Keeper, and more importantly, The Outer Worlds 2, because games are coming out. Like, it's only like less than a month away before Call of Duty comes out, and it won't be that long before something like Metroid comes out. So there is a ton that is coming out. Games are not slowing down releases, really. If we look at the rest of the calendar for game releases, no, I typed in the wrong words. Oh God. And then of course you get this awesome summary that's like, oh, anyways, here we go. GameSpot.com. I'm going to click on November. What else do we have coming out in November? That Sacred 2 remaster is out in November. Fuck, is that really out in November? God damn. I gotta play that. Shit. Escape from Tarkov is coming out on Steam November 15th. Call of Duty Black Ops 7 November 14th. So again, there's a ton of that Terminator game 2D No Fate is finally coming out November 26th. Looking forward to that. Metroid Prime 4 Beyond is out December 4th. Octopath Traveler 0 is out December 4th as well. Don't know how many other games are going to make it. Oh yeah, Marvel Cosmic Invasion is out December 1st as well. There's still a fair bit. I mean, we are Kirby Air Riders. How can I forget Kirby Air Riders, November 20th? So there is still a wealth of games coming out between now and the end of the year. Hyrule Warriors, Age of Imprisonment, Dinkum. Who could forget about Dinkum? Oh, fuck. Is that Tales of Xillia remaster coming out on Halloween? Fuck me. Is that... God damn it. I really want to play Tales of Xillia remastered as well. But, boy, oh boy. I got to get to Outer Worlds 2. I still got to finish Hades. It's a madhouse around here. So, I got to get to playing some games. You can come back, if you have the chance, either Thursday or Friday, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on twitch.tv/GnittWitt. We will be playing The Outer Worlds 2. I am looking forward to that. I'm going to try to get this podcast up as quickly as possible so that people are listening tonight. Know that. That's going to do for the podcast. I have been GnittWitt. You can find everything that I do over at my Linktree. That is linktree.com/GnittWitt, GnittWitt. I am on Twitch, Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, TikTok, and YouTube. We will see you all next week at a regular time. That's going to do it for the podcast. Take it easy.